you guys, MetroFanTV coming to you live from Legends Bar and Grill in Manhattan, New York. We are here having a MetroFanTV roundtable. The man behind the camera has emerged.
It's actually weird.
It's kind of
hey, camera.
Fernando, today,
I don't think so. No,
a lot went on in this game. Not the greatest performance again, but enough to pull out 3 points away. Right? I think it feels good, especially against someone who was considered an Eastern Conference contender at the start. So take us away.
Yeah, look, Toronto's still a good team. As much as it pains me to say it, they're still a solid team. Why they're playing like shit, I don't know, but they're still a solid team. They have good individual players. I'm sure there's a lot of locker room type shit that's probably going on and managing type stuff, but they're a good enough team where you have to kind of bend your toes. You have to have your best performance. I think we dominated them pretty good, especially for the first 30-35 minutes of the first half. After that, you can slowly start to see the momentum kind of shift. We somehow only got 2 shots on goal in the game, which is pretty crazy, and they got 8. So as good as we looked, and despite the fact we got 3 points, they were a good team, you know. But at the end of the day, for me at least, the difference between the Shield winning team and the not Shield winning team are the teams that can go away and just come out with 3 points. Find a way to do it. No matter what you have to do, find a way to come home with those 3 points. And a lot of times, especially the last 2 years, that hasn't been something the team's been able to do. There's always something stupid, some brain dead moment or some bullshit moment, and they just couldn't pull away from it. And we almost had those moments. You know, look, that little short little son of a bitch almost evened it out. And if that happened, what happens then? We walk away from a point. Robles stepped up, and the team picked themselves up, and they didn't go down themselves, and they kept on fighting. So that's the kind of fight that we've seen all season. All season we've seen this kind of fight. And that is, I think, going to be the biggest determining factor. Come playoff time, that's going to make or break us. Because in 2015, 2016, 2017, the lack of just that extra heart to go that extra mile and just figure shit the fuck out is what broke us. And I think this is what potentially could bring us to our first fight.
Yeah, certainly it was kind of, we've been kind of unused to seeing this team grind out results in this fashion, right? And I certainly thought as well on the side of Toronto, particularly, all the space that we were kind of leaving towards the end of the game, a better team does take advantage of it. So I felt personally this was sort of like maybe partially us being sort of below average, but Toronto also being kind of below average, right? And you can kind of see that in the way that Robles made a bunch of really good saves, but it was also partially down to really perfect shit Toronto.
Yeah, so, look, Toronto is desperate. I don't even know when was the last time we won a game, but they're fucking desperate. So, yeah, they're totally, at their home, at their shit fucking, like, glorified high school stadium, they're totally going to go that extra mile and really fight for those 3 points. So, yeah, look, you go into a game like this and you have to do your best. You have to play your best. And again, this is the kind of game where, yeah, if any other year, this is the kind of game that they find a way to fuck up, right? Like you're almost sitting there waiting for that stupid "that's so Metro" moment nonsense. You don't really see that this year because you see them just doing the little things better to make sure that moment doesn't happen. Again, this is a game where, look, we were outshot 8-2. Robles made some incredible saves, but there were so many other moments that never got to a potential saving moment because the defenders did what they had to do. They took that one extra step. They just sucked it up and sprinted for just 2 more seconds to get to the ball. They did what they had to do. There's something different about this team this year in these moments where they may not have been the better team, but they found a way. And to me, again, that kind of goes back to the last point I made where the difference between the teams that win it all and don't are the teams that just find a way to win. Even if they're not the best team, they still find a way to win. And you can debate if we were the better team. I think depending on what portion of the game, you could argue one was better than the other, but we came out with 3 points. And we came out with 3 points because they did what they had to do. No matter what, they had to do what they had. And they did.
Now I'm going to put my Friedlander hat on. And there was a moment in the game, I think, where we actually had to step up and save us from ourselves. But it was also because of VAR-assisted bullshit, in my opinion. The penalty save from Luis Robles, probably the moment of the match, right? Because that's the difference again between 3 points and 1 point. So, all things considered, with that call particularly, kind of disgraceful, wasn't it, on the part of VAR? Apparently, according to MLS in 2018, you're not allowed to break your fall, and you have to fall on the ground with your face sunk. How do you feel about that?
There are natural things your body does. One of them is called holy shit and oh fuck. Okay? That usually happens right before you're about to taste asphalt, ground, grass, or something that shouldn't be in your face. When you are on the verge of falling, you don't really have that much time to determine, okay, is some stupid, useless fucking asshole ref gonna call a fucking penalty if I don't try to not eat the grass, or fuck it, let me just eat the grass. Like, the fact that shit dragged on for like 4 minutes and they still somehow managed to fuck up the call, to me just highlights VAR and MLS entirely. They just can't find a way to not fuck it up. If I sat down and I really, really thought about how I can do a shitty job at my job, I would just watch MLS and RBNY every fucking game. Like, that is a fucking blueprint of how to do a shitty job. If I was as bad at my job as the RBR, I'd be fucking unemployed. I'd be fucking homeless. I would not have any money because I would have been fired fucking ages ago. But somehow, week after week, these fucking losers just trot on the field and just find ways to fuck this up. Like, this shit was tried. The worst part of this is the fucking Red Bulls were actually the original team that tried this shit. Like, this shit was used in USL for Red Bull 2 games. And before anyone else in this fucking goddamn world, it was used at Red Bull Arena for Red Bull 2 games. And they still fucking fuck it up. With the first team, for the first team of the reserve team that you fucking tried this on for a year, you still fuck it up. I don't get it. Like, I watch the World Cup and there's moments where I'm like, okay. But every time I watch a VAR moment in MLS, I want to fucking shoot myself. I just want to take whatever it is I'm drinking, shove my head inside and just drown. Just drown in fucking beer. Because they're fucking useless and they never get shit right. And that's all I have to say. Fuck them. Fuck you, VAR. You guys are losers.
Wow, okay. Maybe not to try and rally you up a bit more, but now we have to look ahead to NYCFC away at Yankee Stadium next week. Considering the 8-0 aggregate, shout out to NYCFC, 8-0 aggregate, on the season, a lot of confidence going into Yankee Stadium, I feel, but any slip-ups to look out for in your opinion?
Look, NYCFC, they're still a good team. As much as we fucking despise them, they're still a good team. I don't... Watching their last 2 games, it may not be as bad with the integration from one manager to the next as maybe some people thought it would be, but there could potentially be some slight issues. If you watch the games, you almost get the sense that maybe some guys don't know their new role, or they're still not understanding the full, tactical change that he's trying to, implement. What it's going to come down to, I think, is what team's going to want it more. And I think that's kind of the difference between all these games. I honestly think that for all these derbies, the difference wasn't so much a quality of the difference of players and the teams. It was who wanted it more. And for me, that's why we'll always have the edge. No matter what, no matter who's on a roster, we'll always have the edge because our team is filled with actual New Yorkers and actual people from the New York City metropolitan area. Okay, Wheel is from fucking Manhattan. Okay, Etienne is from Patterson. Like, we have guys who are from this area, so there is a deeper sense of pride for these players than insert some random fucking guy that they picked up from Football Manager in God knows what fucking country, pretending to give a shit about this area. You can go around and plaster all the fucking ads you want and all the billboards you want about this is our city. It's really not. It's our city because our players are fucking from this city and from the area. And to me, that will always be the difference. Because when you go in there and you're fucking hot, you're tired, you've played 3 games in 7 days, it's fucking 90 degrees, you're just exhausted. The difference between that is going to be, I have pride, I want to win this for my family who are here because they took a train here, because I'm from here. And that is always, to me, the difference between us winning and when they win. So I feel confident in this game just because I honestly feel like our guys know what it means and they're going to go in there and they're going to go for it.
All you gentrifiers and you transplants, fuck you. MetroFanTV signing out.